Let's go ahead and start this session with solving problem number 22 from section 7.2. The bar graph shows a number of bachelor's degrees in thousands awarded to men in red and women in blue in certain country for 4 selected years from 1980 to 2010. Complete parts A and B. Click on the icon to view the graphs of the data. So we'll click on that icon, and there's our data. We're supposed to go ahead and find the number of, use the endpoints of the blue line to find the function in the form wx equals mx plus b that models the number of bachelor's degrees, wx in thousands, awarded to women X years after 1980. Okay, so the blue, we're going to use the blue line. We got to get y at wx or y equals mx plus b, right? The key is what? The slope and the y-intercept, right? So the points are what? 1980 is 459, and 2010 is 849. Okay, so those are the points. Okay, 1980 is 459, 2010 is 849 for the woman. Okay, so there's our 2 points. Okay, now, what we need to do, okay, so what we need to do is, let's see if I can move this here. Well, let's go ahead. So the slope, okay, the slope is going to be, all right, I got rid of the points, but that's okay. So the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 849. Minus y1 is 459 divided by the year 2010 minus x2 is 2010, y2 is 1980. So 849 minus 459, 849 minus 459 is 390. Divided by 2010 minus 30, minus 1980 is 30. The 3's canceled. 39 divided by 3 is actually 13. So the math comes out real easy. So the slope is just going to be 13, right? Now the y-intercept is what happens at the starting point, which is we're beginning at 1980. So at 1980, that's really our equivalent to the x, our y-intercept, right? The x is 0. So you just use the value, the y value of 459. So then the wx will be the slope 13 times x plus the y-intercept, which is 459. So that's what they want, okay? So again, we did the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to get the slope, and then the y-intercept is simply the point, the y value for the year 1980, because that's our starting point, because it's a number of years after 1980, which means x is 0. Okay? So you just got to put in 13. Don't forget your x. You can just put in x. You don't have to put times, and then plus the y-intercept, the value of the y-coordinate for the first point for the 1980, and there's your answer. Use the model from Part A to project the number of bachelor's degrees that will be awarded in 2020. Okay, now, so in 2020, that's what? X is the number of years after 1980, right? So wx equals 13x plus 459. 2020, how many, the x is how many years after 1980, right? So 2020 minus 1980 is 40. So that means we're evaluating the function at 40. So wherever there's an x, 13x, we're going to put in 40 and then go ahead and do 13 times 40 plus 459, and that will be the number of bachelor's degrees. Okay, now, again, in thousands, so you got to be careful. So you got to go ahead and do 13 times 40 plus 459, right? Oops, I put in a, that didn't get the 13. 13, let's try that again, times 40 plus 459, and we get 979, but that's what? The numbers in bachelor's degrees in thousands, so it would actually be 979,000, so you'd have to add 3 zeros, and there's your answer, because remember it was in thousands. So 979 really represents 979,000 bachelor's degrees. Very good. Problem number 23, graph y equals 5x minus 9. Again, back to the slope and the y-intercept. Y equals 5x minus 9, that's my equation. The slope is the coefficient of x, which is 5 over 1, right? So we're going to go up and to the right, and the y-intercept is going to be what? Minus 9 means it's a negative 9. So you graph the y-intercept, crosses the y-axis at negative 9. From there, we're going to go what? Up 5 and to the right 1. Okay? Using the slope-intercept, y equals mx plus b. So we got the y, so we know it's a line, so we're going to grab the line tool. The first graph, the y-intercept, which was what? A negative 9. So we go down to negative 9, ooh, it goes in increments of 2, so it's halfway between negative 8 and the next one, negative 10, right? And then we would go up 5, so we would go up 5, which would get us to a negative 4, right? And then over 1, right? Right there. And there's our answer. Oops. Negative 9 going up 5 would bring us to a negative 4. Oh, but I did 1. I went over, it's over 2. All right, let's clear. You see what I did wrong? All right, let's show you. Let's do this again. Pick the line tool. We got 0 and negative 9. There it is, right? And then going up 5 would be negative 4. Over 1 would just be halfway through. There it is. You see it, 1, negative 4. I went over, but over 1 unit is 2, right? So I just go over a half a unit, which is 1, and then there's the correct answer. So be careful because it's in increments of 2. Now again, you could use your calculator to do this. You can click on the y equals key, right? Clear out the old function, put in a new function. 5, x is next to the green alpha, 5x. Subtract 9, there's my equation, and then hit second graph to get tables, and there's 0, negative 9, and then the next point, 1, negative 4. Okay, there's our 2 points. 0, negative 9 was 0 down 9, and then we went over 1 down 4. When we did the slope from negative 9, we went up 5 over 1, and that got us to the point 1, negative 4. Okay? So you can either do it slope-intercept, kind of pencil and paper by hand, or you can get the points using your calculator. Number 20, homework exercise 24. Write the equation in line with the indicated slope and y-intercept. Slope is negative 2, y-intercept is 3. Again, you know y equals mx plus b. M is the slope. The slope is what? Negative 2, so it's negative 2x. Y-intercept is 3, so it's positive, so it's plus 3, and there's our answer. Really, there's no arithmetic to you. The slope goes in front of the x, and the y-intercept is what you're adding if it's positive, and you subtract it if it's negative. All right, so the answer is a negative 2x plus 3. Again, remember you got to put in a negative 2 times x, or just a negative 2. The x, you don't need to put in times, but you need the x. And then plus 3 is the y-intercept. All right, number 25, find the equation of the line with y-intercept 1 and slope 5/9. Again, we know y is the slope times x plus b, the y-intercept. The slope is 5/9, so it's 5/9 times x, plus the y-intercept positive 1, so it's plus 1. So there's our answer. Y equals 5/9 x plus 1. Okay, so y equals 5/9 fraction x, and then plus 1. Okay, use the graph to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept and the slope. Okay, now we definitely have to enlarge this, so click on that little magnifying glass. Okay, now the x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. Where it crosses the x-axis, right, the horizontal, right there looks like it's at what? This is 0 to 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So each one is a 1 unit. So it crosses it to the 1 unit to the left. So it looks like the x-intercept is -1. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like that point right there, which is what? 4 units down. So the y-intercept is a -4. All right, let's put in those values, okay, to make sure they're right. So the x-intercept is -1. The y-intercept was -4. Okay, what is the slope? Now, the y-intercept, the x-intercept is when x is negative, when that's the value of x when y is 0. So the point is -1, 0. The y-intercept is when x is 0, so it's 0, -4. Okay, what is the slope? Okay, this can be my x1, y1. This can be my x2, y2, right? So the slope is y2, -4, minus y1, which is 0, over x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is a -1. So get the correct order. -4 minus 0 is simply what? -4. 0 minus a -1 is 0 plus 1. +1. -4 divided by 1 is simply a -4. The simplified fraction, you don't want to put in, you want to get rid of 1 in the numerator. -4 divided by 1 is simply -4. So we would put in the slope as a -4 in simplified form. Very good. We're going to go ahead and stop this session at this problem. Oh, I'm sorry. And simplify your answer. Oh, the slope-intercept. Sorry, one more part. Let's simplify, or let's do it. So y equals the slope, which is what? -4 times x plus the y-intercept, right? Which is a -4. So usually we would just write -4x minus 4. Again, y equals mx plus b. The coefficient of x is the slope, which we got was -4. And also it happened to be just a coincidence, the y-intercept is also a -4. You don't use the x-intercept to get the equation of the line, just the slope, and b is the y-intercept. So it would be -4x minus 4. All right, now we've got that one done. Okay, we're going to stop this session here at problem number 26. If you have any questions, send me an email at tswers@hodges.edu or call me at 239-938-7805. Thank you.